The average person checks their phone 96 times a day, once every 10 waking minutes. That's not a habit, that's a reflex. And it didn't happen by accident. It was engineered by the same people who build slot machines, using the same playbook, pointed at the same target. Keep the finger moving, keep the loop turning. I know this because I lived inside the loop for 3 years. And then I did something drastic. I locked my phone down to calls and texts only. No apps, no feed, no scroll, just a phone. Here's what happened. What surprised me, and why I'll never go back. Week 1 was quiet withdrawal, not the dramatic kind. The kind where your hand keeps reaching for something that isn't there. I'd stand in line and feel the absence in my palm. I'd sit down to eat, and my thumb would trace a search pattern on the edge of the table. That was the first thing I learned. It was never about checking anything. It was about the gesture, the ritual of picking it up. Take the ritual away, and what's left underneath is loud, restless, almost unbearable, like a fever with one known medicine. And the medicine was the phone. Here's the thing though, that restlessness isn't a problem to fix. It's a signal to read. Your brain is telling you something is off, and the phone is the perfect way to never hear the message. Every time you reach for it, you're not solving anything, you're muting it. I want to name exactly what that feeling is because no one explains this part. Your brain evolved to notice change. That was survival, a rustling bush, a shift in the light. And now we feed it change on a loop that never ends. One post, one video, one notification. Your brain says yes to all of it because from its point of view, you're eating well every 10 seconds. The feed is a slot machine with a million arms, and you've been pulling all of them. Week 2, something shifted. The restlessness didn't disappear. It changed shape. It started pointing at specific things instead of everything at once. I'd feel the urge, and instead of eating it, I'd sit with it long enough to find out what it actually wanted. Most of the time, nothing. Just trained motion. But sometimes it was real. A thought I'd been avoiding, a decision I'd postponed, a conversation I didn't want to have. The phone wasn't eating my time. It was storing my unsolved problems. And they were all still there when I got back. Viktor Frankl wrote that between stimulus and response there's a space, and in that space is our power to choose. I used to think that was poetry. Then I sat in a room with no feed and found out it's mechanical. When the phone isn't there, the stimulus comes, and there's a gap. In that gap, you can feel yourself deciding. Most people have never once made that decision. They just respond. That's when I stopped fighting. The scroll isn't the problem. The scroll is the anesthetic. You don't fight an anesthetic with willpower. You rebuild the system. So here's exactly what I did, and you can do this without becoming a monk. Sleep first, minimum 7 hours. Every study on impulse control and mood comes back to the same variable. A tired brain is a reactive brain. And a reactive brain reaches for the phone. Sleep is the foundation. Everything else sits on top of it. Then the rule. 5 hours a day max, and the phone locked to calls and texts only. No social apps, no news feed, no video feed. If it wasn't a person trying to reach me, it didn't exist. I didn't remove the apps with willpower, I removed them by rule. That's the trick. You never decide in the moment, because in the moment, you always lose. You decide once, in advance, when you're not tempted. Then 20 minutes of walking, no headphones, no phone. It sounds like nothing. It's the most underrated tool I own. Movement settles the nervous system in a way nothing else does, and it gives your brain the slow time it was built for. Free medicine and food, not a diet. Just the fact that what you eat runs the engine your self-control runs on. Stable energy, stable decisions, junk in, reactive brain out. 3 weeks in, I wasn't a different person. I was the same person with my attention back. I finished dinner without a screen next to the plate. I noticed the light again. The texture of a conversation. The silence didn't feel like a hole anymore. My unsolved problems stopped haunting the background because I finally had the space to actually look at them. You don't need to hate your phone to take it back. You just need to see it for what it is. A tool tuned to exploit a system that never learned to say no. And that system is yours. You built the reflex. You can build the rule. Sleep first. Lock it down. Walk. Feed yourself properly. Not because something's wrong with you, because the environment was designed against you, and now you know how to design back. The phone never took your life. It took your attention. And attention is the one thing you can always take back.